We're jumping right into an explainer today on a crisis that is silently destroying bank accounts, careers, and financial stability all across the country. We usually think of loneliness as just an emotion, right? A fleeting feeling of sadness. But the reality hidden in the data is so much more alarming than that.
$25 billion. Studies now estimate that loneliness and social isolation create economic losses of up to $25 billion every single year. And that's just through healthcare and productivity impacts alone. It's a massive shock, but this is the cold, hard financial cost of a society that's becoming increasingly disconnected.
Okay, let's dive into this. Here's our roadmap for understanding this hidden crisis. 1. The hidden financial crisis. 2. Why America is so lonely. 3. The personal cost of isolation. 4. Corporate and healthcare tools. 5. The identity shift. And finally, 6. Rebuilding connection.
Section 1. The hidden financial crisis, a systematic failure.
To really understand this economic drain, we first have to reframe how we actually view this epidemic. The source material defines loneliness not simply as feeling sad, but as a deep social disconnection causing severe economic, physical, and emotional loss. Almost nobody talks about the financial side of this, but it literally breaks futures, not just hearts.
Section 2. Why America is so lonely. The illusion of connection.
So how did a hyper-connected world become so isolated? Well, this brilliantly illustrates it. We've got this illusion of digital connection, like having 5,000 followers online, competing with the stark reality of emotional disconnection, where people feel completely invisible and lack deep bonds. Social media gives us endless stimulation, for sure, but it completely fails to provide true belonging.
And that brings us to the hustle culture. We're constantly told to grind harder, right? To achieve hyper-independence. But as the research points out, humans are not machines. Millions of Americans are sacrificing friendships, family time, and their own mental peace for careers that just leave them emotionally empty.
Plus, we absolutely have to talk about the remote work reality. Now, there's no denying it has massive productivity benefits, but for millions, it's totally removed daily social interaction. It erased office friendships and stripped away that vital community feeling. People are spending entire days completely alone behind screens, silently losing their emotional health. Outwardly, the productivity might still be there, but inwardly, it's a silent emotional decline.
Section 3. The personal cost of isolation, your bank account.
Let's bring this narrative down to the micro level so we can see how this impacts your personal bottom line and career growth. Success heavily depends on relationships. A connected worker has high confidence, strong networking, and mentorship opportunities. But a disconnected worker, they experience dropping motivation, weakened communication, and emotional exhaustion. And that exhaustion ultimately kills ambition. You might still show up to work, but you're surviving instead of growing, which absolutely lowers your long-term income.
And it builds into this vicious cycle. Step 1 is loneliness. And how do we usually fill that emptiness? Step 2, emotional spending. Those temporary dopamine hits like food delivery or online shopping. But the relief never lasts, which leads straight to step 3, financial stress. And that stress, it pushes you right back into step 4, deeper loneliness. It's a trap that actively drains your finances while never actually curing the underlying pain.
Section 4. Corporate and healthcare tolls, the macro impact.
Shifting our focus to scale this up, systematic reviews from 2025 prove that chronic loneliness is consistently linked to severe physical ailments, like heart disease, anxiety, and stroke, meaning Americans are literally paying for isolation with expensive healthcare. The financial consequences are undeniable. More doctor visits, higher insurance, and mounting therapy expenses.
And highlighting the 2025 research from the Signet Group, massive corporations are bleeding cash over this too. Emotionally exhausted, disconnected workers lead directly to low performance, quiet quitting, high turnover, and severe burnout. Employers are losing millions in recruitment costs because their workforce simply cannot perform at its best without genuine human connection.
Section 5. The identity shift, the most dangerous part.
Let's slow down for a second here, because prolonged isolation creates a deeply psychological trap. Loneliness actually changes your identity. People begin to believe nobody cares or that they have no value. And when people lose hope, they stop investing in their future. It directly sabotages their financial and career decisions. That is the true tragedy at the heart of this crisis.
Section 6. Rebuilding connection, solutions for wealth and health.
All right, let's raise the energy back up because there is absolutely a way out of this. The source material outlines clear, actionable steps to fix this crisis. First, rebuild real human connection, not digital, real. Second, prioritize mental health just like physical health. Third, create intentional connection time. Schedule family dinners or therapy just like you would a mandatory work meeting. And fourth, reduce social media dependency. Spend less time consuming strangers' lives and more time building your own.
If you take away just one thing from this explainer today, make it this. Human connection is not a luxury. It is economic protection. Community and collaboration are the true foundations of stability and wealth.
Which leaves us with a pretty provocative question to chew on as we reflect on our own lives and financial choices. We hear so much about the rising cost of living. But what is the truly most expensive thing in modern society? Is it inflation? Or is it isolation? Think about that the next time you decide whether to scroll on your phone or reach out to a friend.